Warning. The footage you're about to see may leave you shaking your head in disbelief and questioning why this is happening. It may stir deep frustration, sadness, disappointment, or even polite disgust. In the end, it will make you understand, more clearly than ever, why so many people are talking about Indian fatigue.
Wait, are they trying to catch Canadian geese?
What are you doing with that, bro? You gonna eat it?
God damn.
In a park in London, a disturbing video has gone viral, showing a group of migrants pulling a live goose out of a lake and preparing to cook it right there in broad daylight. It's not just about animal cruelty, it's about what happens when cultures clash. Public parks are supposed to be a safe place, right? But when newcomers don't respect local laws or values, things get messy. In this case, it's a migrant group with no regard for the UK's customs. They just saw the goose as dinner. No thought to the public space they were in. No concern for others around them. But here's where it gets crazy. People were quick to react online. Some say, why not just buy meat from the store? Supporters, however, argue that we must respect cultural differences. Respect for animals, public order, and the common good are cornerstones of British culture. We don't tolerate cruelty, especially in public spaces where families and children should feel safe and welcome. Is this the reality of multiculturalism? Some argue it's cultural erosion, not diversity. If we can't even enjoy a peaceful walk in the park without worrying about this, what's next? What's happening to our values? What do you think? Is the UK turning into a place where we accept anything in the name of diversity? Diversity, diversity.
At this rate, I think it will happen. And the fact that they actually recorded it too.
Yeah, it's recorded now. Hold on, let me see. Is it alive?
Oh no, someone else recording them doing it.
You gonna eat it?
Eat here.
Yeah?
Eat here.
You gonna eat it, yeah? You know, why are you gonna eat it for?
Hopefully they arrested those people.
Has only two official languages, English and French. Nevertheless, a small number of performances on the international stage has already sparked debate regarding our national anthem being sung in other languages, such as Punjabi.
Yeah.
On one hand, some say this reflects
There are some schools where I know that they sing Punjabi or the Canadian anthem in Punjabi. And you would think the national language is English or French. If you want to sing it, you should either sing it English or French. That's just my opinion.
our multicultural identity, showcasing the diverse communities that call this country home. On the other hand, it raises a serious question. Does changing the language of the anthem chip away at our national identity?
I believe so.
Being truly Canadian means holding on to the traditions and symbols that unite us all under one flag.
I believe so. There's a reason why for hundreds of years it has only been sung in English or French. There's been many other races in Canada and none of them have changed that. Why must we change because of the Indians now? That doesn't make any sense to me.
So I know everyone just finished celebrating their Canada Day this weekend, and I hope you all did enjoy it and whatnot. But this Canada Day felt a little bit more different just because of the type of people that are behind Canada Day nowadays, if you catch my drift. Just a couple years ago, up until this year basically, you're basically demonized for being a Canadian. You were demonized for waving your flag. It was called a racist emblem. At one point, people would accuse a flag as a symbol of hate at one point. And this is the insane part. Those same people now are covering themselves in this sense of patriotism based on a narrative of elbows up that has nothing to do with being Canadian and has everything to do with being tolerant and accepting of how we just sold our government out to a bunch of corporate bankers and whatnot. And people
see like this. I don't think it should be sung in any other language besides French or English. Simple as that. Like, it's been like that for hundreds of years. Why are we allowing this to go on? We need to take back our country, man.
Don't give a fuck about what it means to be Canadian.
Yeah.
Because if they cared about what it
Look at Terry Fox, what he did for Canada.
Our borders. If they cared
Hockey.
what it means to be Canadian, they wouldn't allow almost 18,000 of these new rehabilitated criminals from India into our country. And that's in fact that they did that. That just shows you that it's not that they don't even care what it means to be Canadian. They don't even care to protect this country or you, the Canadian in itself. It's sickening what these people are doing. I know it might sound like a rambling baboon and whatnot, but it's Godsmack.
And it's always the Indians that get caught doing these things.
Go out and say that they're patriotic because they standing up to Donald Trump, who has nothing to do with the downfall of this country. The downfall of this country is attributed to just straight up incompetent.
There you go, Justin.
Educated voters that are unwilling to look at the government and question what they are feeding them. Because if that was the case, we wouldn't have gone through COVID. If the government cares about us so much, why the hell do we have rehabilitated criminals from overseas, but we can't even rehabilitate the Canadians that are there?
Right?
Rehabilitate the Canadians that fought overseas, come home and get dumped on the floor. And you want to
Facts.
You're proud to be Canadian, but we have Canadians who are serving now that have to ask their parents or loved ones back home to send them a fucking pair of socks because they don't get covered by our own tax dollars. So,
and yet we send so much money out to all these other countries to help them or help other people besides the Canadians, besides the people who pay Canadian tax dollars. That's what's insane to me. Like, it's like a meme now. Canada's become a freaking meme. Because the thing about it, if you come as a refugee, you get $82,000, almost $85,000 per person to do nothing. So can you imagine if they hear that from other countries, like foreign countries, they hear that. I'm bringing my whole family, and that's what's happening. They're bringing all the Indians, they're bringing all their family members because they're telling them, listen, Abjit, Singh, you come for a year, we get 82,000, we go back India, or we all put together, get a house. We work and get money, and we get a house. And that's why they're getting houses so fast. It's just insane to me, like how we have let Canada become like this. And it's us, and the government has let Canada become like this because we, the people, voted them in, and we allowed that to happen. That's the crazy part. We allowed it. And I think it's time that we, the Canadians, born Canadians, actually not even born Canadians, just people who respect the Canadian values, need to stand up and take back our country.
Where the hell is it going? What is it? What are you proud of right now? It's one thing to be a proud Canadian, but to embed that in such debauchery is disgusting. That's the part that pisses me off about Canada right now, and Canadians in general. Wake the fuck up.
And it's going to take a couple years to fix it. It's hard. It's not going to be fixed overnight.
I really don't care who this video pisses off at this present moment anymore. I truly don't. There is absolutely no jobs for born and raised generational Canadians in this country anymore.
No. Factual.
Okay. Between 2005 and 2015, while the Conservatives were in power for almost a decade, there was approximately 2.7 million immigrants brought into Canada. Then, between 2015 and 2024, while the Liberals were in power for almost a decade, that number almost doubled to 4.3 million. So to answer your question, yes, we did have immigrants during the Conservative government. However, Canada is now full, and yet we are still being overrun with new immigrants while our citizens are living in tents or on the street.
Yeah, factual.
I was born here. I pay my taxes here. I'm raising my children here. This is my home, and lately it feels like I'm not allowed to say that without an apology. I'm not racist. Truly, I'm not. I don't judge people by their skin color. I believe in kindness, decency, and shared humanity. I've welcomed others, embraced diversity, and taught my children to treat everyone with respect.
Yeah.
But something has shifted in Canada. I am not sure we're even allowed to talk about it without being attacked.
I know about the generation that's below me that are looking for a job. 3 years.
Believe me, I know. My daughter has been looking for a job for the last 2 years, and she cannot get a job. I know one of her friends who got a job at Urban Planet, and she got let go to hire somebody else. Guess where that somebody else was for? And now at Urban Planet is a whole bunch of, guess what? Those people are immigrants. They brought them in because they're cheaper. If they don't talk back, they just do what they said. They're told, and that's what these companies want. So again, this comes back to the government, the franchises, these owners. They're doing it. They're destroying Canada because they're trying to get cheaper labor. And the thing about it, once like the Indians get in management, it's over, bruh. It's over. I'm telling you, it's over. It's over. You think you get a job? If you're not brown, you're not getting it.
And counting. I know a lot of people my age looking for jobs. 3 years and counting. I know a lot of people 3 years
and the welfare system is insane too. Like there's so many people on welfare and like, government assistance and stuff like that. Canada's gonna collapse. That's what's gonna happen. There's way too many people, or they're gonna just raise taxes. And the thing about it, they're gonna try to raise taxes on the rich people, and the rich people are just gonna say, you know what? Screw it. We're out of Canada, and that's when you're gonna see the collapse of Canada. Canada's gonna collapse completely. Because we can't just keep printing money and giving out money like that. Canada's going to collapse. I'm telling you. I can see Canada collapse in my lifetime. Guaranteed. I talk to my kids and I tell them every time. I'm like, listen, things are hard for me now, for your parents right now. I can't imagine in your generation, when you become my age in your generation, how expensive things are going to be. It's probably going to be double. And the thing about it, the wages are not going up, and everything else is skyrocketed.
Here in Canada. So, I think that there's a huge, and I mean huge issue in this country currently when it comes to housing, when it comes to jobs, when it comes to security, period.
I have seen this.
And it's got to stop soon.
I think this right here, that was at a Chick-fil-A that they just opened up at Heartland Town Center. I saw that line going around the block, around the building, down to the Canadian Tire, around a Canadian Tire, of people just trying to get a few jobs, few positions. Not even, probably maybe like 20 positions, and there were hundreds, if not thousands of people just waiting in line.
Period. Okay? And it's got to stop soon. So, as long as you keep voting in liberals, you're going to have liberal problems over and over and over again. Because seriously, I walked up the street the other day, okay? I'm currently employed, but, okay, I'm only employed part-time, so I'd love a full-time job. So I walked down what is called White Ave the other day, okay? For hire. For hire. For hire.
Yeah.
For hire.
But
for hire. I have dropped off resumes at all of these places. Okay, a lot of them are restaurants looking for either line cooks, looking for dishwashers, looking for servers and everything else.
And what's the problem?
I got my culinary. I have customer service. I have everything. For Christ's sakes, I used to own a restaurant.
Look.
Time, so I think I even know how to run one. Okay? Not one phone call back whatsoever on.
I don't know. It's just me, but normally when I go out to restaurants nowadays, and I see there's a lot of like Indians in the restaurant, I stay. But the thing about it, what I've noticed, that they are very rude. A lot of them are rude. They're not polite. They don't say hello. They don't welcome you. And now I've made it like my thing to not give them any tip. I refuse to tip now. I have become that person where I don't give any tip. If it's a nice person, maybe it's a white lady, a black lady, or Asian lady, sure, I'll give them a tip. But now it's become to the point where I just feel like every time I see an Indian server, I just know they're gonna be rude or they're gonna be too pushy, and it just drives me crazy. Like even down to getting my oil change, I go to Mr. Lube. Sorry, I go to Mr. Lube, and I just go for oil change, and I get this Indian guy, and he just keeps trying to push all these other extras onto me, and just repeats it. Oh, you really need this. You really need this. Oh, your transmission needs to be flushed. It should be flushed. It needs to be changed. And I keep telling him, I do everything at Ford. I got a brand new Ford. I just come here to get my oil change, just because I don't want to make a booking at Ford, or I don't want to wait. I just want to get it in and out. And he just keeps trying to push all these things. Oh, you really should do this. Oh, maybe you should top up this. I'm like, no, I don't want to do any of this. No. And I just said, no, that's it. Don't bother asking me. And at the point where I find myself, I'm like catching myself. I'm angry at that point. I become rude because this guy doesn't listen. He just doesn't understand. I don't want this service. Why are you still pushing this on to me? And it comes to a point, like I said, every time I see Indians, like, oh my God, right? Let me know in the comments down below if you guys feel the same way.
Anything, period. Whether giving a resume online or actually physically showing up and dropping off a resume. So please explain to me who these jobs are for, because it definitely ain't for Canadians anymore.
You are not Canadian. We are Canadian. This is our country. You are invaders.
That's crazy.
You go back.
Wow. Even the security is Indian.
Go back to your England.
I'm tired of being called a colonizer by people who weren't even alive when history happened. I'm tired of being made to feel ashamed of the color of my skin.
Right?
I'm tired of hearing
there is so much reverse racism towards white people. Like I always say, white people get treated the worst nowadays. People don't realize, because the thing about it, they can't say anything. That is the worst thing. Like a lot of these white folks, they didn't do anything. Maybe their ancestors did something, but they didn't do anything. And the crazy part about it, a lot of the ancestors or whatever know who started the slavery scrap. Like I hate it when people used to say, oh, black people put black people down, whatever. Black people started slavery. It wasn't the white people. Black people started the slavery. White people or colonizers, they made it global. Okay? But the original thing started off with black people. And black people hate hearing that, but that's the truth. All right? But nowadays, like, why does it matter? Like, even I hear, was it Ryerson? They changed Ryerson to University of something. They changed it now. They changed the name because Ryerson was racist, something like that. But I'm like, that's part of Canadian history. Like, like black people don't ask about it. Most black guys, they will tell you, I don't care. They didn't bother with it, and they still didn't change the name, and they quietly changed it too. Even Dundas Square. Like, because Dundas was racist, okay, that was history. He still made Canada great, right? Hitler's history. It happened. What are you going to do? It happened. He changed a lot of things. People don't like talking about Hitler, but Hitler changed a lot of things, right? He wasn't a good guy, but he's part of history. That's why it's called history for a reason. So we can remember these things and never do it again. Hopefully never do it again. Because remember that guy who did this? Yeah, he wasn't liked very much. Probably should never do that again. And nowadays, I don't think we could ever do that. But it's coming to the point where people are so fed up of what's going on in Canada that I'm telling you, people are going to start pushing back.
That I have no culture and no roots because I'm white.
Yeah.
I'm tired of watching my homeland change so drastically and so rapidly, and yet being
disgusting.
I'm hateful for even noticing.
Disgusting.
When people chant death to Canada in the streets, they're celebrated. When truckers wave Canadian flags and ask for freedom, they're criminalized.
Yeah.
When food banks are overwhelmed, housing drives up, and crime rises, we're not even allowed
Look at this.
to ask.
Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16. Out of 16, they're all Indian.
Why?
All criminals.
To be quiet. And if we're white, to check our privilege.
White privilege, yep.
But where do we go when we feel displaced? Where do we turn when our concerns are dismissed as racism? Where do we belong if not in the very country our ancestors helped build, protect, and call home?
Yep, facts.
This is not about hate. This is about loss. The morning of Canada that once felt united, where being Canadian meant something shared, something solid. Now it feels fractured, foreign, and unfamiliar. I want to be clear. I don't hate others, but I refuse to hate myself. I have the right to love my culture.
Chic RCMP officer.
My way of life. Just like anyone does. I have the right to protect my future. My children will inherit.
And that's the other thing too. Like, talking about the chic. Like, I understand their turbans, but for years, it has been the little hat that the RCMP wore. All of a sudden now they completely changed it. Like, what happened, bro? What happened to Canada? Why? Other races had hats. I mean, Jewish have the little what was that? That little hat they put in the back. Did they ever change it for them? Probably not. Who else? I can't think of anything on my head, but I'm pretty sure there's other religions or races or people that have different things, styles on their head, and they haven't changed it. Why all of a sudden now they want to change it? Because Indians, because they allowed the Indians to get into power and high positions, high ranking positions. And that's what's crazy. A lot of Indian people are very pushy. People don't realize that. They're very pushy. And to get what they want.
I have the right to say this is my country too.
Yeah, you do.
So no, I'm not racist. I'm just tired. Tired of walking on eggshells in a land that should feel like home. Tired of being erased in the name of inclusion. Tired of being silent to keep the peace while everything I love quietly disappears.
Things need to change.
I won't stay silent anymore because I love Canada, because I love truth, and because I still believe we're worth saving.
Facts. 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 We need to take our country back. Let me know in the comments down below.